Today I'll explain about arrays. In this class, you will learn what is array, what are the different types of arrays, how to declare the arrays. We already know using a single variable we can store only one data. For example, if I declare the variable x, an integer variable like this, in the variable x we can store only one integer data. In the same way, if you declare a floating point variable, we can store only one floating point data. But sometimes I want to store multiple data. For example, marks of 5 tests. I'll take marks of 5 tests. First test marks is 81 and the second test marks is 90 and the third test marks is 93 and the fourth test marks is 84 and the fifth test marks is 78. See, if you want to store these 5 test data, we actually declare the variable like this. For example, M1, M2, M3, M4 and M5. Here I have used 5 variables to store 5 test marks. These are the marks of one student. For example, if I want to store 5 test marks of 10 students, I need to declare 10 into 5, 50 variables. Right? Instead of declaring one variable to store one test marks, so we can also use only one variable name, to store multiple data. So this type of variable is known as array. That is, in an array we can store only one type of data. So the actual definition of the array is a collection of elements of same data type. If I take the example of the 5 test marks, instead of taking multiple variables M1, M2, M3 and M4 and also M5, I'll just take only one variable M. Okay? Using this variable M, I'll store all the 5 test marks. First test marks is 81 and the second test marks is 90 and the third test marks is 93, fourth test marks is 84, fifth test marks is 78. Array is a collection of elements of same data type. Here, whatever the elements that we have stored in the array M are all of type integer. Next, how to access this individual element? So, in the single variable example, if I want to use first test marks, I'll use the variable M1. In case if I want to use the third test marks 93, I'll use the variable M3. But in case of arrays, I have given only one name m to this array. In this array, I have stored all the 5 elements of the array. Next, you will learn how to access the individual elements of the array. To access the individual elements of the array, we use subscripts or index. We always write this subscript or index within square brackets. Okay, and one more point, always the index or subscripts of an array starts with the value 0. And also the subscript or index of an array always must be an unsigned integer. Means what? It is always a positive number. Now I'll show how to access the elements of the array M. Okay, so we can access the elements of the array using subscripts. We always write subscript within square brackets. Always the array index or the subscript starts with the value 0. Means what? The subscript or index of the first element is 0. Next 1, 2, 3 and 4. See, this is the first element of the array and 90 is the second element of the array. 93 is the third element of the array. 84 is the fourth element of the array. And 78 is the fifth element of the array. But the subscript or index of the first element is 0. This index or subscript which indicates the position of the element in the array. For example, subscript 2 of the element 93 which indicates that 93 is the third element of the array. And one more point, always the array elements are stored continuously in the memory location. Next, types of arrays. There are two types of arrays, one-dimensional array or single-dimensional array. Second type is multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array is again categorized into two-dimensional array, three-dimensional array and also up to n-dimensional array. One-dimensional array. One-dimensional array is also known as single-dimensional array. A single-dimensional array is a linear list consisting of related and similar data items. In memory, all the array elements are stored in contiguous memory locations one after the other. So, next I'll show how to declare an array or the declaration of an array. Next, I'll explain how to declare an array or declaration of an array. Syntax for declaring an array is: first, write the data type, next, write the array name, then write the size of the array within the square bracket. Data type, it may be any basic data type or it may be a derived data type. Next, write array name, which indicates the name of the array. Next, write the size of the array. Size of the array indicates maximum number of elements that we can store in the array. This size must not be a variable and it always be a positive integer. In the test marks example, I have taken an array named n. In this array, I have stored 5 integer elements. We will write the declaration for the array m. To declare this array m, first write the data type. The data type is int. Next, write the array name Array name is 5. Next, write the size. Size is 5. This declaration statement indicates M is an integer array which stores maximum 5 integer data. In the same way, we can declare a floating point array also. This declaration indicates that X is a floating point array which stores maximum 8 floating point data. And also we can declare an array for character data also. This declaration indicates that P is a character array which stores maximum 20 characters. Next, we will find out the total size of the array. Total size of an array is defined as maximum number of memory locations that are allocated to an array. The formula to find out the total size of the array is size into size of data type of the array. Now we will find out the total size of the array that we have declared before. So the first array is an integer array m. To find the size of the array m, first total size of the array m is equal to, first we need to write size. Size is 5 into size of data type of the array. So data type of the array m is int. So therefore size of int. So size is 5 into size of integer data type is 2. 5 into 2, 10 bytes. So which indicates 10 bytes of memory is allocated to the array m, or the total size of the array m is 10 bytes. In the same way, total size of the floating point array x is, first write size of the array is 8 into size of data type of the array as float. So next 8 into size of float is 4. So that is the total size of the array x is 32 bytes. In the same way, for the character array p, the total size is, for the character array p, size is 20 and size of the data type of the array is char. Next 20 into size of char is 1. So that is 20 bytes. 20 bytes is the total size of the array p.